Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Joe Daddy's Garage. It is Monday, July 14th, 2025, and I'm obsessive compulsive. Sorry about the little bit off on the timing of getting this live stream started. I had forgot my coffee, so I had to run back in the house and grab my coffee. But I have it, so we're set. Now, you know that I've been obviously working on the Cobra Jet, as seen here, and I'm trying to take care of a bunch of things. And I keep running into I say little, they can be big problems, but I keep running into problems. And part of that is the fact that this car, where it was stored, was in Florida, and apparently there was a creosote factory nearby. And that has created problems that I did not anticipate. And what it is doing, the mirrors have developed bubbles on top, and the headlight extensions, or the headlight buckets, quarter fender extensions, whatever, they are also bubbling. And what I mean is, they looked fine until I took everything out in the sun and let it get hot. And once I did that, then it went crazy. So the mirrors were my first thing that I did. I had them on the car. I rolled it outside. I was looking it over, letting it sit, making sure everything was looking right. And then I saw the bubbles. They looked like little pimples popping up. So I stripped them down. I started over, as I do. And I sprayed them again. I took them and set them out in the sun. Did everything a little, the normal way I would do things. Set them out in the sun, and they did it again, but at a much smaller scale. Instead of being like 10 or 15 bubbles, it had 2 or 3. But it's still a problem. And so here I am putting the front end of the car together, hanging fenders and everything else, and I thought, I should probably take those extensions and put them outside and see what happens, because I need to find out, and I'd rather find out now than later. And so I did, and it turned into a mess. So I'll show you. This is the driver's side extension, and there are big bubble blisters all over the place. The top edge, there's bubble blisters down on this surface here. Can you hear my fan running? That's my fan on my laptop. But there's blisters here, and especially in this surface. Now all of that is an issue, because I can't have it. It can't end up that way. Let me see if I can clear this fan. Hold on a second. There's all kinds of dust in here, so that... Wait. I almost had it. Maybe it'll stop in a second. I don't know if you can hear that or not. If you can, I apologize. Okay. I'm just gonna have to ignore the fan for the moment. So, anyway, just more problems. Okay, I'm gonna try to shield this microphone just a little bit from that. So, here I am trying to put this thing together, and these bubbles formed, and I think what I'm going to do, rather than try to fix these, I'm starting over with a whole new set. So the guy that's helping out in Florida, he had brought me another set previously, and they were from a different car, and they were kind of like an in-case sort of thing. Oh, there it went. So it was like an in-case sort of thing that I had those extra ones. So these are just going to get set aside, and I'm going to start over with those other headlight extensions. And I'm thinking I may end up either using the mirrors from my Mach 1 or another set entirely, because I can't have this happen. You know, when this car's done, it's going to be in Florida. It's going to be hours and hours away, away from me. So I can't have something fail. And I'd rather find out now than find out later and have to deal with it. So anyway, that's kind of the status of things. Also, I'm prepping the hood for the blackout, and there's a little issue that I have with that. The hood itself, it was an original hood, and it was in good shape. I did have to do some body filler work on the front of it. It's not the original hood to the car. It's an original 69 hood. And I found I missed something. And what I missed was just a little subtle depression on one side of the hood. Couldn't see it before. I know I had noticed it maybe once or twice when I had it standing up on the other side of the garage, and I really didn't think much of it. But the more that I'm looking at it, the more I realize if I black out the hood, that may show up. So I have a friend who's a paintless dent repair guy. He's going to come by and see if he can't nudge that back into the proper position. So we're going to hold off on the hood for a moment. What I have been doing, as you can see here, is putting stripes on the car. Now this has been interesting, and I'm trying to detail this as much as I can. The stripes on the side of the car, I've seen other videos. I've taken my own measurements, and they're fine where they're at. I'm not messing with this. But from the bottom body line to the top of the stripe, the consensus is 6.5 inches. Well, somebody has sent me an email. They've commented on my posts on Facebook that it's technically not level. It's not meant to be level. And I thought, why? Why? What's going on here? And the center line, if you look at this stripe, it's wider, technically taller, let's say wider at the back than it is at the front. And it's at a very subtle slope coming down. He said the only thing that's actually straight is the white center line that's within the stripe. Now, I've looked at other videos, and I've looked at the original panels that I have, and there is discrepancies with those panels, even the original panels. But I looked at the driver's side setup, and I found a variation with that could incorporate the fact that that stripe is a different width. And then I went to the passenger side, and it was more consistent with the 6.5 inches all the way straight from front to rear. So my opinion is I don't think they had a perfect system in 69. And whatever they used to lay out these stripes, you could get variations. So that's, I think, is what's coming into play. In this case, I don't know that I want to worry about 1/4 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch or whatever it may be. I'd rather have it the line straight, and it fits within that space of the body creased here and down there. It just makes more sense to me. But there's obviously going to be speculation of concourse correct and all that sort of thing. But everything I've found has also pointed to the 6.5. Now, this person has sent me an email, and I haven't gotten very far into it, but he was talking about the variations, and he says, please use these. They also account for variations between days and factories, 6 to 7 inches to center of the stripe. So there's, again, variations on these things, and I'm going to try not to worry about it. I've got a lot of stuff to worry about as it is. I think it looks good, to be honest. Okay, so if you're new, if you're just checking out my live stream, I do this on Sunday nights at 7 o'clock. And we, as a community, talk about classic cars. And my version of classic cars is like 55 to about 1980. And before they started getting into fuel injection and all that sort of thing. So that's my my bracket. And if you have something you want to talk about or bring up, then bring it up, because we'll try to solve problems or answer questions if we can. If I can't do it, there's people over here in the chat box that are more than willing to offer their advice or counsel. So we always I try to encourage anybody to be involved. Now, if you have a later model vehicle, we're probably not going to be able to help you much. There are some knowledge that I have of, why is my hat so crooked? Some knowledge that I do have on newer cars, but I'm more familiar with the older stuff. So anyway, let's see who's here tonight. The first one in is Rick Gain. Stuck at mom's house now. Rain is coming down like well, more than cats and dogs. Hope everyone's having a good night. Glad you're here, Rick. Hope your mom gets better. I know she's having issues. Mr. Mikey checking in early tonight. Greetings to the crew. Welcome, Mr. Mikey. Glad you're here. Jiggy, evening all. It's a toasty one in Georgia. Yes, it is. Can't escape it. Betty Keithley, she beat Terry in tonight. Hi, Barry. Have a good show. Give Barry a thumbs up and like. Terry's helping daughter load all her things in a U-Haul truck. She's going back home finally. Betty, Terry, and the fur babies. I'm not sure how to read that. If it's finally or finally. I don't know how to... TJ, good evening, Barry, from East Dublin, Georgia, where every day is a holiday and every meal is a feast. Yes, that is definitely an Army slogan right there. Every day is a holiday and every meal is a feast. That's right. Richard Vogel, good evening, Barry. It's always fun to get together. It is. Glad you're here, Richard. Steve Reed from Paducah, Kentucky. Hello, Barry and everyone. Hope everything's going well for everyone, and let's give Barry a thumbs up. Yes, please. Glad you're here, Steve. Dalton Davis, it's my first time here. I love your channel, especially your Super Cobra Jet playlist. Thank you, Dalton, and I'm glad you're here checking us out. You know, I try to encourage everybody with these projects, whether it's, you know, this current project or other ones that I've done, and I do post a lot of information and a lot of share a lot of knowledge. So with that, I can say that I appreciate all my patrons who support me in doing this. I'm happy to have them here. They make a difference. So if you're interested at all in becoming a patron or offering something like a tip, there's a link in the description box below. I encourage you to use that to help me continue to make stuff happen. But glad you're here, Dalton. Appreciate you. Dave Tyson, good evening all. Evening, Dave. Well, that was a good ring. Tim Miller, hi everyone. Hi, Tim. And the bowler hat guy, David. Good evening, Barry. Hello all. Hello, David. Roger, Hindsight 67, greetings from next door. Greetings, Raj. Rusty's Restoration, hello, Barry, and all from Southern Indiana. I hope all is well. Give a thumbs up for Barry. Yes, thank you, Rusty. That matters. It really does. It helps YouTube know that people are involved in watching this. Hugh, Unapologetic American, hey, Barry. And he says, been following your Facebook now. Yes, I saw that. And I appreciate your comments. Art Man, good evening from Minnesota. I started a new job today. Well, I'm gonna hope that's a good thing. I hope that's a good thing. Sometimes people start a new job because they did something bad. I hope that's not the case. I hope you found a good job and it's better than what you had. Troy Justin, good evening, Barry and gang. Sorry for the difficulties you're having with the Cobra Jet. Yeah, I appreciate that. You know, I'll get it figured out. The problem is at this point that any of these additional flaws just mean more money. And what I mean by that is, you know, a gallon of this paint is over $1,000. And so that's all gone. I've used it up. And I've had to get extra. And so like a quart is 300 and something, and a pint is like $180. So I have a pint here to take care of hopefully I can still finish the headlight buckets and the other set of mirrors. So all that accumulates along with the clear coat. It just yada yada yada, and it's the issue I really have with this is it's out of my control. Like, it's not something that I feel like I did wrong. It's just the material, the metal, and the issues with that. That's, anybody else, if it was the other set that I had used, I doubt this would have ever happened. So I guess it comes with the territory, though. Dave Tyson says, yips. Or is that yipes? I'm not sure which way that's meant to be. Yips or yipes. But yeah. Tim Miller just come in from primer 70 Mach 1. Hot almost drying, put in hot temperature reducer. It's flat. Okay. Artman, our derby tonight, go Buxton. I'm not sure what that means. Rick Gain, blow compressor into the fan. Yeah, well, it quit now. I think it probably froze. It's locked up. Gerhard, good evening from Canada. Welcome, Gerhard. Mr. Mikey says, oh yeah, Dave Conville. Stripes, good evening. Evening, Dave. Simone is checking in from the UK. Hi, Barry and Chad. Hello, Simone. Glad you're here. Rick, the stripes are all put on by human beings, not machines. No two sets will be identical. I agree. Bob Shoemaker, a bit late but here. Solvent pop on headlight doors. No, I don't believe it's solvent pop. I believe it's there was a creosote plant near where this car was stored. So if I go back and look at my old videos, I did a disassembly of these headlight buckets. And I'm pretty confident that the top surfaces have no paint or anything on them. All the top surface areas were exposed to the elements. And so I've talked with people who live there, and they've talked about this creosote plant causing other cars to just rot away. And it's, you can add it up. You can put that in there, salt, acid rain, whatever. All these things that were exposed now have issues. So I can't say it's solvent pop. That wouldn't make any sense. And if it were the case, then all or most of this would probably be doing the same thing, because I had this sitting out in the sun baking, for hours, and there was no evidence of that whatsoever. So Betty Keithley, Monday nights, or did I hear that wrong? Monday nights. Today's Monday, right? Am I wrong? Yeah. Monday nights at 7. I'm not sure what you're asking. Sorry, Betty. Denny Alvey, good evening from Paducah. Welcome, Denny. Artman, they probably eyeballed the stripes with a 2x12 along the assembly line, and still shift guy was 5 foot tall and the second shift guy was 6'6". That's a very good possibility. Very good possibility. Simone, Barry, I need to do some repairs on a door from the Cortina. There's some rust which I treated, but I need to use filler Bondo. Any advice? I can tell you this. I don't know what you have available over in Europe. So I use Evercoat Rage Ultra here in my shop as a filler material. I don't know what overall condition you have. So if you've done some patchwork or anything like that, obviously, get rid of the rust, fix whatever's messed up, and then treat it, right? So if you do like a navel jelly or something like that to eat out the rest of the rust and clean it up. And then once everything's clean and dried out and ready to go, I would spray an epoxy on it and then start working with fillers from there out. So that's, and I use that Rage Ultra. So I don't know what you have available over in the UK. Michael Pagliarini, every evening all, don't use the parts off your Mach 1. I say that because I've done that in the past and shoot myself in the foot because I couldn't get good replacement parts. I actually have the friend in Florida who's provided me the headlight buckets that we're going to use on this car. He has several sets of mirrors from these cars. So he's already told me he'll provide me with, he's helping build this car, put it back together. And he's already said he will send me or bring me another set of mirrors to deal with. So I'm confident that it won't be a problem. But I do appreciate what you're saying there. And welcome, if I didn't say welcome already. Travis, yes, be a patron. Good evening, all. Thank you, Travis. Appreciate you. Amir, what's up? Oh, sorry. What's up, Barry? Hey, Amir. Glad you're here. And you are seeing the names again, just not the handles. Great. Yes. Yeah, and that's it did that last week. It was correct. It was working correctly. So I'm glad you noticed, though, because that's rough. Whenever there was changing all the names, I didn't know who was who. Simone says, wow, that is expensive. Yeah, talking about the paint? Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's Deltron. Now, you can buy cheaper paints. The issue you run into is like this, the Deltron brand or Deltron whatever, from PPG. The materials you use in this, like black is an expensive pigment to put in here. So they use a more true black in this, but if you buy the cheaper stuff, they use like a dark brown. So it's not technically the same color. So you're supposedly you get better pigments with the Deltron brand or the upper scale paint products. Troy just said, I fit the convertible floor pan in my 65 Mustang and found the transmission tunnel is half an inch too high and 3/8 inch too wide where it connects. Does the convertible have a bigger tunnel? That's a good question. That is a good question. So it's half inch too high and 3/8 inch too wide where it connects. So when you say it's a half inch too high, what are you relating that to? I'm a little confused. You're talking about where it meets the firewall, and 3/8 too wide where it connects. So you're talking about where the cross member attaches. Is that what you're referring to? I would think they would be the same, but I'm not sure exactly where we're at on that conversation. And Troy says there's cutting and welding in my future. Yes. Artman, Home Run Derby. Oh, okay. Dave Tyson, how about tail extensions? I actually did the extensions that were on this car. I don't know if you remember seeing the videos. They were heavily corroded, like crumbly corroded, coming apart. And I elected not to use them at all. I took the ones off of my Mach 1. And that's what's on this car right now. And then I bought myself a new set of extensions from Dynacorn. So I have a brand new pair that actually fit my car really nice that are Dynacorn pieces. But the extensions that are on this are from my Mach 1 already. So that's going to alleviate, I think, that issue. I don't see anything happening with those. I've had them out in the sun, and I don't see any issue with those. Gerhard, when you first said it, you said Sunday nights at 7. That is what I heard. Okay, I probably did. I was a little out of sync when I jumped in here because I had forgotten my coffee. So I was like, if you notice, I didn't do my little countdown timer. I just jumped straight to my intro video. So I probably did. I apologize. Dalton, I am planning on restoring a 69 Mach 1 in the near future. Do you happen to have any recommendations for where or who offers any in decent condition? No. I don't, I can't tell you anywhere to look. You know, when I found my Mach 1 up in North Carolina, and the opportunity was there, and I bought it. I said, I can't pass this up because it was in such great shape. But I've seen really, really bad stuff being sold for the same price as what I paid for my really nice car. So it's unfortunate. There goes that fan again. Okay. So it's unfortunate that there are there are people out there selling these cars and are trying to get a small fortune for them, knowing that people want them. And I don't blame them. You know, that people put a big number on something, and if somebody buys it, they're happy. But a lot of them are just kind of complete do-overs. You know, they have rust everywhere, and you're cutting stuff off and replacing everything anyway. So in many cases, if you find something cheap, you're just buying the VIN numbers and starting over. That's kind of what it comes to. But I don't know of any in decent condition that I can recommend. Betty says, I thought you said Sunday home run derby on tonight. I am watching you instead. Okay, well, thank you. Let's see, Richard, is the roof panel the only original panel left on Slither? The only original pieces on this car. Now, I will say these are not the original front fenders, but they are original 69 front fenders. Okay. The upper half of the firewall is original. The rocker panels are original. The shock towers are original. And that's it. That's it. Everything else is new metal. The aprons, I take that back. I saved most of this apron on this side. I don't know if I saved it on the other side or not. The front aprons are new. Everything in the back is new. Floor pan, doors are dynacorn, roof, everything else is dynacorn. So, yeah, even the roof panel is not even. Oh, I will say this: the header panel that goes up in the front and in the back, those are original. So, that's it. Good question, by the way. Annette says, hello, everyone. It's my birthday today. Well, happy birthday, Annette. Troy, where it meets the firewall. Oh, okay. Yeah. You're going to find some discrepancy there sometimes. Even the original cars, I've seen where they had to dolly down the flange to make it mate to the firewall. I've seen that in original cars. Like, who knows why. But they've had to like bow it down and weld it together. So I have seen that before with the firewall to the floor pan transition. So they don't fit like a glove. I even had to do, I think it may have been on a convertible, I did some pie cuts to help compress that down a little bit and just weld the seams back in. So not uncommon, but that's not too bad. Hey, Matco man. Hello, all. Hello, sir. Glad you're here. Bob says PPG Deltron Black is made with one black tint. Yeah. Yeah, it's not cheap. It's not cheap paint. Betty Keithley says happy birthday to Annette. Simone, the rust in the seam of the door skin. So I drowned in rust converter. I will look for epoxy. There is some pinholes and a long shallow dent. Oh, I hit 2,000 subs today. Well, that's awesome. Good for you, Simone. Good for you. So, Annette saying thank you and happy birthday from Simone. Troy, the rest of the floor pan if it's good, it will need some minor adjustments. Yeah, it's not unexpected. So you'll get it. Gerhard, a few weeks ago, I asked you about using manuals for the assembly of one of those early Mustangs. You said that you don't use one. My goal is to start off with a dynacorn body, and that will be my first Mustang build. Do you think I would find the manuals useful? You may. I can't say that. I mean, it's not. There's nothing negative about having those manuals. I just have volumes of experience, so most of the time I can either look at something and figure out where it went, or by matter of deduction, I can figure out where it went. So it doesn't hurt to have those manuals. I was just looking today, since you brought that up. I got this book from a friend of mine, and I was looking at it today, and it says Authentic Restoration Guide Mustang 64.5 to 73 Restoration Guide. And I thought, you know what? Maybe this will have the information I need on those stripes. So I went through it, and it's got a lot of illustrations. Really nice stuff. Really nice stuff. Gives you, part numbers and kind of how things all fit together. So this is a pretty neat book. Would it help? Maybe. I don't know. And I'm looking through these, and look, here's a picture of a 69, right? Or 70, actually. And I thought, oh, they're going to have pictures of the stripes, and they're going to tell me the exact measurements. And then I went, no, this book does not. It doesn't tell me anything. It tells me the Shelby stripes. Okay, that's great. No dimensions, just says where they are. And I thought, why would you make a book like this and show these numbers but not have that kind of information? It doesn't tell you anything other than this is what fits there and this is what fits there, but it doesn't give you any kind of dimensions, for these different configurations. I'm like, that's just wrong. So while it is beneficial to have stuff like this, it may not actually give you what you're looking for. The other things, books, magazines, whatever, is these things, these Jim Osborne. So this shows you like weld and sealant. And, it's supposed to show you it gives you numbers and tells you, hey, this went here, this went there. So it's similar, but a little more, bigger pictures and more detail. So stuff like this is very handy. Okay. Hope that answers your question. Rick Gain, good thing I'm here. Mom's basement is flooding more than I've ever seen it before. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. Jiggy, next on my project is removal of the shock towers to prep for Mustang 2 style front suspension. Any tips on shock tower removal, or just same old stuff, drill, pun intended? Yeah, there's really not much variation. The you can go back and look at the Cobra Jet where I separated the shock towers, because I kept the shock towers and then replaced the frame rails. And the reason for that is the VIN number is on these shock towers. So yeah, it's just a matter of drill, chisel off, separate, get it out of there. Not too bad. Just take some time. And that's, I've been looking for a 67 and 68 Mustang Coupe. The prices range from $20,000 to $45,000. Big difference. Yes. Yeah. And it also, you have to be very careful if you don't know exactly what you're looking for, or, if there's no documentation with the car. I've seen cars that have sold for, in that price range, and then the people find out that it's 80% Bondo, and it was at a shop that restored it. All they did was cover everything up with Bondo and tell you it was restored. So, got to be really careful with some of that stuff. Travis, that's why you're so valuable, Barry. Books are not great. Yeah. I've had people suggest that I should write a book on some of this stuff, but I don't. I would probably need a ghost writer, because I could probably define everything, but I don't have time. I don't have time to sit here and go, chapter 1, this is where all the rust is, you know. I could see it being beneficial, but and then I don't know if it would ever pay off in the end. TJ says, Barry, you worried about the rest of the paint on the car from the creosote contamination? I am not, because the rest of the car is sitting out in the grass right now, what's left of it, and on the back of my truck. So none of this here that you see was actually exposed to that stuff. So this is all new dynacorn, original front fenders from a different car. Everything else is fine. So I'm not worried about any of that stuff at this point. I was really getting anxious about the whole process because, you know, when you find a problem, you're like, what did I do? Is it something, I'm losing sleep over it because here I've got this issue and I'm thinking, what did I do wrong? Why is this happening? Is it something I created? Is there a flaw in my paint system? Is there something going on? And so I'm actually feel better that the headlight extensions were messed up because it tells me more about the fact that the issue was beyond my control. So those could probably be saved. They would probably need some sort of a serious chemical bath to get whatever out of them. Maybe even baked, maybe even hot tanked. You know, I know that whenever, when I worked at Delta, if I still worked out there, I would sneak these out there. They've got these chemical tanks that you can put stuff in, and it'll clean them like you wouldn't believe. You know, aircraft parts will be amazingly clean, but I don't have that option, so I can't sneak them out there. Travis just says, Jiggy, get a plasma cutter. Yeah. Very handy. C&J Hoyt, hello, Barry. All the books have good info. Yeah, they do. They do. But they're also, a lot of them are based on, manufacturer's drawings and stuff like that. And the, if they gave you like numbers that were accurate and you could trust, that would be a great thing. But we also know these cars have so many variations in assembly. You can have a hole off here and there. You can't say that this is exactly per the blueprint. There's all kinds of things going on. But yes, the books, they definitely do have good information and worth having. Travis, did the mirrors have an issue again? Yes, they did. So I had done them the first time and put them out in the sun and they bubbled. And so I stripped them down and I don't know where I have them right now. Oh, let me grab one. Hold on. So I stripped them down and I started over. I actually sprayed them with self-etch to try to alleviate this problem. And then, I know it's hard to see, I put them out in the sun, and right here on the front edge, there's bubbles again, little blisters. And it's on, this is the passenger side mirror. So there's another one back here, there's another one right, and they're tiny. They're not dust nibs, they're actually bumps coming up from underneath. And it did it on the driver's side mirror as well. So, you look at this and you think, okay, can I do this one more time? Is it worth it? And try to do something different. And I think I'm just going to skip this step, set these aside, get either the set out of my Mach 1 or another set, and prep them, spray them, take them outside, do the same thing, make sure that they're not going to blister, and then run with it. And I'll get another set. I'm not worried about it. Mr. Mikey, when Mustang sales started sagging and gas prices started rising, Ford put stripes on them in a rebranding attempt. Limited success, in my opinion. Well, yeah. I mean, the Mach 1, that was a package, right? Package of options you could put on. But later on, of course, they tried doing all kinds of stuff to increase sales. But yeah. Annette, I'm going to need someone with car knowledge to pre-purchase inspect the car for me, but some of those inspectors are suspect too. Yeah. Yeah. And I've actually done some of that for some people, but not in a restored car. This was cars that they were looking to rebuild themselves, and I'd look them over and say, this car's going to need every single thing you can think of. So save them some effort in buying something like that. Dave Tyson, your videos are better than any book. I agree. I just wish that somehow they would get the attention that other people get. When I've got videos that show 1,000 views or 2,000 views or 3,000 views, and then there's somebody else out there doing something that's in some cases pointless, right? Maybe entertaining, whatever, and they're getting 1 million views, and I'm like, well, and I understand. People aren't interested in all, the knowledge side of things in a lot of cases. YouTube's there for entertainment. For the most, 99% of it's just entertainment. And it is what it is at this point. That's why I like Patreon, because I know that the people that are on there appreciate what I'm doing. And so that helps me continue to keep doing this stuff. Tim Miller, we've been thinking spray bed liner on backside front fenders so wouldn't bending tops keep flat. What do you think of that? It looks like undercoating. I don't see a problem with putting on like Raptor liner on the inside of the fenders at all. I don't have an issue with that. I've used Raptor liner on that Bronco that I did, and I was pretty happy with it. So it would be great as a defender, let's say, of the inside of the panel. Rocks and stuff like that could be deflected, maybe help it out there. But I don't have a problem with putting on the Raptor liner. Simone, can the mirrors not be chromed? Well, no, the mirrors on these cars were painted. They were painted body color. So, yeah, you wouldn't want to chrome these. It wouldn't look right. And I wouldn't want to do that anyway. So, I've never seen those in a chrome on one of these cars. They've only been painted body color. Mr. Mikey, I paid $1,000 American over a church pew one Sunday morning. Wait, what? Hold on a second. Let me get a drink of coffee and read that again. I paid $1,000 American over a church pew one Sunday morning for my 67 coupe. Okay. So I'm guessing what you're saying is you paid for a 67 coupe in a church leaning over a church pew. That's my assumption. That's probably a good deal. Richard, I need to know where you got your laser set up. That system looks great. Okay. Well, I think these are just from Harbor Freight. Let me pull one off here. These are Braun is the brand, right? Or Bauer, sorry. Bauer, not Braun. Bauer. I don't know why I said Braun. So Bauer. And they come with this magnetic bracket. I currently have this set up on the tripod. So you can put this on the base, and I think you can take this out and flip it over so you can set it up this way as well, right? And it has this lock switch on the side, So if you wanted to, I guess if you wanted to lock the laser in a position, you could. You turn it on. I'm not going to aim this at the camera, but you can see it floats, right? So you can tilt this, and it's gonna self level to a certain degree. It can't be extreme. And then you can turn that lock and turn the laser on, and you can turn it whichever way you want if you want it to. So I hope you can see that. And that's with the on-off switch on top. So again, floating. Okay. So that's where, and these are like from Harbor Freight. So they were not that expensive. And I used them on the, if you go back and look at the 56 Chevy that I did the straight axle setup on, I used them for that as well. So I could get the straight axle in the right position on that car. And it did work out perfect. Dalton, what's your take on making a rest mod John Wick 69 Mustang Mach 1? Yay or nah? You're talking like cloning the John Wick car? I don't have a problem with that. I mean, you can buy like I mean, it's up to you, but you can buy like a sport roof car, or you can take a coupe and convert it to a fastback and just build it into the John Wick style car. I don't have a problem with that. I think it's kind of cool. I don't know if you know this. I have a video where I went and looked at 2 of the John Wick Mustangs and the Chevelle that were used in the movie. So I know a guy who lives up in Tennessee who owns those cars. So he has like the stunt car and one of the hero cars. And he has kept them and left them alone. I think he still has them. But if you go back and you go look at my YouTube channel and you look up John Wick, you'll see I did a video on those 2 cars and the Chevelle that was used in the movie. So you can get some ideas from that just to see how they were built. Now, neither one of those cars was they were both, I think one was a Mach 1 and the other one was a plain Jane, I think. But they were supposed to be Boss 429 cars or whatever, and they weren't. But you can see all the details. You can see the effort that the movie crew, the car builder, put into trying to keep that car from bending. All the extra bracing, all the extra support they built into that car, because we all know these cars were not, you couldn't do what John Wick did with this car. Running into stuff and smashing through things. It would not work. So they reinforced all that car, and I have it all on the video. You can check it out. But yeah, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't build one for me, but it might be something I would build for somebody else. Tim Miller, stifling and top waves finders. I'm not sure what you're saying, Tim. Sorry. And that says, lucky you, talking about getting the 67 in a church. Rick says, when you don't have a shark bite cap because you can't solder onto a pipe with running water through it, if you take a garbage bag and jam it into the pipe, making a plug using a garbage bag. For reasons unknown to me, there's a 3/4 inch copper pipe running through the wall, spilling water into the basement. The garbage bag plug seems to be holding for now. We'll see. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's not fun. Just because I saw something about something like that, Rick, I saw a video where somebody had made a tool that they could spin threads onto a copper pipe and then had a copper ball valve that had threads on it where they could turn it onto that pipe and shut it off. It's pretty cool. I don't think, I think it was on copper. It might have been PVC. But it might have been copper too. I don't remember. I know that somebody had a tool that will cut threads and you could screw on a secondary ball valve. Simone, a friend of mine used the same system to apply side stripes or side trim on his Cortina. Okay. Richard, I love Harbor Freight. It's like being in a candy store. Yeah. Yeah, every time I jokingly go in there and I've had friends in there and I'm like, I wonder if all of China smells like this. Just a thought. Doyle, were all the stripes vinyl or were some painted? No, they were all vinyl from what I understand on these cars because this is a reflective paint or a reflective. What do I want to say? Vinyl. Why is that light not working? So let me take down your comment. If you'll see here, you can see how it lights up. It's not just from the light; it's from, it's reflective. So I don't know if it's showing up very well or not. Yeah, but you can see it like lights up. I think it's kind of cool. But as far as I know, those were never painted because they had that reflective thing going on. Now, of course, the hood was blacked out with paint, but that's a whole different story. Annette says, I want an everyday driver, an upgraded, safe, reliable coupe with a stroked 302 in it. Well, you missed out on the opportunity. I sold my 68 earlier this year, but it was just, it was a little bit built 302, but it was a super nice car. And a guy from South Carolina bought it, so you missed out. Tim Miller, the hood dips in. Oh, okay. The hood dips in hood and waves, thinking you use quick spray. Check in a can. Okay. Gerhard, gotta go. Good evening, everyone. Glad you're here, sir. Yeah, I've already been at it 52 minutes. That's pretty good. Simone, that reflective paint is like our registration plates here in the UK. Yeah, same thing here in, we have in the States. Our license plates do the exact same thing. They're reflective. So. And that says doggone it. Yeah. Yeah, if you go back and look at my videos and look up Jade, my 68 Mustang. Let me see if I have a picture of yeah, here you go. So that was my 68 Mustang I sold. It was really nice. It was really nice. But I also have, not that it's for sale or anything, I have this 68, which remarkably enough is about 95% rust free. I picked that up a couple years ago, and it's just waiting its turn. Here's another shot of Jade, and that's with my grandfather's Model A that I restored back in 2007. And so there's another shot of the of Jade and the Model A. So, yeah, that car, I went all through it, nose to tail. What else do I have here? Yeah, there's another shot of Jade at the car show that I went to. And here's another Mustang that I did years ago at the body shop. My partner painted it, but I did all the fabrication work on it. So I think that's about it for what I have available at this moment. Let me pull down that picture. Where's it at? Where's it at? There we go. Okay. Let's see. Clem Griffiths, get on the road. I am visiting China now, riding around on an adventure bike. I can't find a Harbor Freight anywhere. Finding a simple toolkit for the motorcycle is near impossible. That's fun. That's funny. Annette says, I remember Jade. Yep. Jade was a good car. Mr. Mikey, probably NHTSA governance from Uncle Sam on reflective stuff in the 70s. Yeah. Yeah. National Highway Traffic Safety something? Yeah. Simone says Jade was stunning. Yes, I agree. Rick, I just need a permanent cap on this pipe. I think it was an old water supply for the house that was replaced about 30 years ago when the highway is not flooded and I can get to Home Depot. I should be okay. Okay. That is odd, though, that it's just pumping water into the basement. Yeah, and it says, wow, on beautiful cars. David, Jade is a real beauty. Yep. Rich Watley, Jade is a car that got me watching your channel. I love all the videos you made on it. Probably the most help of anything I've seen sheet metal related for my 67. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. A lot of work, a lot of love went into that car. But I know that I had bought the 69, and that was more of my dream car. So I couldn't justify having the 68 here just basically sitting in the garage. And so I was okay selling it, and I'm still okay selling it. I know that I have that other blue 68 that may become something one day. And I also have a 67 coupe that will get redone at some point, I hope. The problem with what I'm doing right now, and I say problem, it's a good problem to have, is having, doing this kind of stuff for other people. And that's fine. That's why I'm here. If I'm doing it for myself, I don't get much out of it. I don't get to, but having it building for other cars or other people, then I get a new project that comes in and I can keep moving. What state are you located in? I'm in Georgia. I'm just south of Atlanta. So that's where I be. Richard says, when is your PD guy scheduled to wait? When is your PDR guy scheduled to fix the hood? Those guys are magicians. They are magicians, and he's pretty busy with hail damage right now. So I'm hoping next day or two he'll be able to stop by. I don't think it'll take him long to fix it, and I may film it as well, just so people can see, what the kind of work that goes into these things. So we'll have to see how far if he can make it. Simone, almost 1 a.m. here. Good night, Barry and all. Good night, Simone. Congrats on 2,000 subscribers. And that says the Peach State. Yep. That's what they claim anyway. I don't know. I think it should be more of a peanut state. I think they sell more peanuts than I think peaches. Yep. Good night to Simone. Okay, David says, yes, please do film that. Yeah, and I'll have to get his permission, of course, if he wants to. Let me do it. I'll film him. But it's such a subtle. It's not like hail damage. I've seen. When we had the body shop, we had a PDR team come in, and they did over, I don't know, a couple hundred cars, and it's magic. Whenever somebody knows what they're doing, and they know how to use those tools and those rods and push the tips into the dips, and massage them back out, it's incredible. So if you're ever doubtful on a PDR, don't be. I've seen people, some of the guys that I know and keep in touch with, I've seen them take out huge dents in a car that you would think there's no way. Not just a hailstone dip, but like a big crease in a quarter panel, and they've managed to massage it back out and without even damaging the paint, and it was just incredible. TJ Barry, I never told you I have 13 Mustangs from 65 to 04. Yes, I have a sickness. Yeah. I have never had anything newer Mustang-wise. Yeah, never anything that I've owned that I can think of, anything newer than a 69 as far as Mustangs go. Now, I will say I had a Mercury Capri which was an 81 model, 6-cylinder automatic. I did have a Capri, but I've never owned anything newer than a 69. Not that I'm against that. I just never had that opportunity, I guess. Annette says, my mother was from Georgia. I grew up eating boiled peanuts. I love them. Yes, boiled peanuts are very good. Some people will go, what? Boiled peanuts? No. No, they're good. They really are. Maureen just had a chance to pop in tonight. Love your hats and sent my way. However, it's time to get ready for bed with the wife and kiddos. Shower, brush your teeth, cat petting, reading time. Ha. Well, I'm glad you like the hats. I was happy, that you asked about them. So I sent him 2 hats, one for him and his son. And he said at some point he may send me some pictures of his him and his son wearing one of my hats. So that's cool. Glad you liked them. And glad you checked in. So as I'm going through the process of trying to get this car back together, some of the things that I've been dealing with, and obviously it affects my videos. So I'm trying to make, I was trying to make a video on striping the hood. And I started that process, and I started buffing the hood because I'm going to use, I want the perimeter to be buffed out nice so that I can prep it and spray the black and be done. And I found that little bit of a little subtle dip on that one side. So I had to stop. And I thought, okay, I'm going to go to assembly and start putting the fenders on and getting all this together. And that's where I was piecing things up and ran into the problem with the headlight buckets. And it's just like, okay, let's go to something else. So the video that I'm working on for this right now deals with getting it, one, out of the paint booth and getting it up here with my little tractor. So it's, bringing it up here and then starting the assembly process of the fenders and that sort of thing. The other thing I was trying to do was work on the quarter windows, and I ran into problems with getting hardware for that. So I just kind of stopped on that one as well. So it's just been this kind of, not a comedy of errors, so to speak, but this little hits that I keep running into these problems, and I can only do so much to correct them. So I'm trying. I am definitely trying. Tim Miller, my pack of ponies are 67 coupe and 69 convertible, needs restoration, and 70 Mach 1 being restored now, and have 2013 Mustang Club of America car. Tags are tough. Yeah. And for me, I don't mind the new cars. I mean, they're great. You can drive them and have fun with them. I think if I were to try to get something newer that I would want to drive, it would probably be the 05 to whatever the 2010 is, whatever bracket of time that one is. That's the one I like because it kind of looks like the 68, and it kind of copies more of one of the older designs. They started getting more swoopy after that. So I like those earlier ones. I say earlier, they're 15 years old now. But I like that body shape. So, and I don't know how to 13. I don't know where it breaks off. I don't know what the timeline is on that. Michael, does anyone have a set of kick panels for 65 coupe? Front and rear. I don't seem to have them in any of the totes that came with the car. Wait, when you say kick panels, are you talking about the toe kicks, like up in the front, or are you talking about on the side where the seat is? So you have F and R, so you're putting front and rear. So I'll make sure we're on the same page. So anyway, The side pieces that go in the quarter, or the toe kick panels up in the front, because those are plastic, and those they sell those. TJ says, Barry, would I be considered a hoarder? I guess. You might. Is that your goal? I think a lot of us are hoarders in different ways. Like, I have a bunch of parts here. I have a little shed outside that is literally packed to the door with parts. I can't get into the shed. It's a small shed. But I have parts in there for the Camaro. I have parts for the 68 Camaro that I have as well. I have parts in there for the Mustangs, various pieces, parts, and whatever. I have parts in there for 67 to 72 Chevy trucks, patch panels, and I have all kinds of stuff. There's just all kinds. There's stuff in there. I don't even know what's in there anymore. I don't know. I just don't know. And that's just in the shed. And I have all kinds of other stuff. I've got stuff in the rafters. Just all kinds of stuff. So I think we're all kind of hoarders in a way. Rick says 2005 was a retro body style, and I will have one for sale in about 2 months. If I get a title, I'll let you know. Okay. Doyle, what you need is a short break. I heard there was a guy that needed some help with a 69 Cutlass. Well, Doyle, depends on where you're at. Rich Whiteley, car registration in California is a mortgage payment. Yeah, I believe it. Tim Miller, 2010 to 2014 was one you like, and me too. Okay. Yeah, I like those bodies. As we're talking about this, I will be making a trip next month. I'm going to be going to Pennsylvania, visit family. I don't know exactly what the schedule is going to be, but I know I'm going to go back up and visit the old junkyard, which is basically completely gone now. Completely. The company that bought the house and the property, whatever, they have destroyed it. They've ripped everything down. So the garage my dad built, everything that was ever any part of us is now in a dumpster somewhere. So it's going to be kind of, sad to go back and look at the pit that used to be the house that I grew up in. But it is what it is. Like, I'll show you this old picture. That's the old house I grew up in. And if you look, this is the tank retriever that my dad built or used at the junkyard. But if you look at all the cinder block wall there on the left, that was the big shop that he built by basically him and my uncle built that place. So apparently all this is gone now. They've ripped it all down. And the bad part is we got no notification of it. There was actually still some personal items in there that weren't like high value or anything, but there were some things that, like, some of my brother's stuff was still in that house, and we missed the opportunity, I guess, to go in there and try to recover some of that stuff. So it's all gone now. So it is what it is. But I'll still be making a trip up there. Let's see, Annette, can you put a 67 grill on a 68 coupe, or is some modification needed? I don't think there's any modification needed. The only difference in the 67 and 8 is the 67 did not have side marker lights on the fender, and the 68 had side marker lights. So I think everything else is basically the same, and you should be able to put a grill in from a 67. I don't think that's an issue. That's a good question, though. Rich says yes. I'm not sure what the question was. Doyle, we know the real reason you're going is for the gobs. Yes, I ran out of gobs, so I have to go back and get some more. No, actually, we're going back. It is it's my high school reunion this year. Yeah, yeah. Say it with me. 40 years ago, 40 years ago, I graduated from high school. Also, 40 years ago, in September, is when I went in the Army. September 17th, 1985, is when I went in the Army and became a member of 10th Mountain Division. So, yeah, good times. And the funny part is, we're trying to get classmates involved to go to this reunion. And, you know, a lot of them, not a lot, we only had like 60, I think we only got like 60 people left out of a class of like 67, maybe 61, 62. Anyway, but we had like 67 people, and we've lost several. But the ones that live there, local, don't want to show up. It's like, come on, people. I'm traveling 700 miles to come see you. Just take a few minutes out of your day and come see us. Come see us. And they don't want to do it. I don't get it. I know if I had a group of friends traveling from Pennsylvania to come see me, I would make sure they had a good time. I would want to see them and hang out with them. Mr. Mikey says, thank you for serving. Yes, appreciate that. I wish I could go back and do it again. I really do. I really do wish I could go back to being 18 again and do all that crazy stuff that I did. Because those days are long gone. Those days are long gone. Every time I'm out here kneeling down and my knee hurts, I'm like, oh, yeah. I know why that happened. And that says, I think the pony on the 68 is not as big and pronounced as the 67. The 67 has the honeycomb-looking grill. Okay. Well, what I did on Jade, and I probably don't have a good picture of it, and you probably can't see it. I actually did a custom grill on Jade because the that's not it. That's another guy's car. I don't know if I have a front shot. Yeah, you can kind of see it. So I did away with the original 68 grill, and I used a Shelby grill for a Shelby car. So like that grill has it's expanded metal. So instead of being flat bars or the honeycomb shape, it's like the crisscross. Because expanded metal is just a piece of metal that they cut and then they pull it apart and it becomes this diamond kind of shape. And so what I did, I took the Shelby grill that was from National Parts Depot and I redesigned it because the Shelby opening is slightly smaller than the 68 original opening. And so I undid their stuff and basically reshaped it to get wider so it would bolt into the opening for Jade. So it was, I did a video on it, but it's just one of those things, kind of a custom tweak that I did along with the, I might be able to see it here. You can see at the bottom, underneath the bumper, that's a metal lower valance panel or front valance panel. And I created an air inlet where the license plate would go to help cool it down. So little custom things that I did to that car. Not a lot, just a few. Make it a little bit more unique. Okay, so Michael says toe kick panels in the front and in between the seat and the inner quarter panel. My 40th will be next year. Okay, yeah. Yeah, the toe kicks at the front, you can buy those. In fact, what I put in, they're plastic. They're not that expensive. The ones I put in Jade had the speakers in them. So if you're looking at stuff like that, you can get those with the speaker mold, and it'll fit right in there. So just know that. But you can buy those plastic ones. They're not that expensive. The other pieces, the metal pieces that go in the back, I might have a set of those, but you're kind of far away. I know you're up in like New England area, right? So I'm not making that road trip. So you have to find somebody up there who's maybe done a fastback conversion or something. I think those panels, I'm trying to remember, don't quote me on this, but I think they fit from 65 to 68. I think. So do a little research on that, but they're out there. I might have a set. I don't remember if I do or not, but just you'll find some. And that says cool. David, I like the expanded metal idea for a grill. Yeah. Well, and I don't know that many people have thought of that. I know I had a lot of people asking me to make them and to like sell those things. And I'm so busy, but what I was thinking about doing was essentially creating a mold, more or less, buying some expanded metal and bending it myself, tack welding it together to make the shape that would be needed, and then add the tabs that I used when I made the one for Jade because I made it bolt in. And so I had people ask me to make them, but I'm like, I don't have time, and then the commitment to it is you make 5 and you might sell 1, or somebody backs out. Then what? Now you're stuck with a pile of these things. Anyway, so I just never did it. But I showed how you can do it with one of those that you could get from NPD. Thank you for serving Betty and Terry. Thank you, Betty. I was pretty honored, I think, to have served. I mean, it was. I had my uncle was in the Army, and so I had that inspiration, and then I was like, I wanted to do something different with my life, and that was a stepping stone to get me moving away from where I was at. So it was all good. David says, I'd buy one. Yeah, well, you might have that opportunity. You might have that opportunity, David. I know a car that it may fit in right now. Well, not right now, but soon. There's still other work to do. I got to get this car done. Right here. That one. Okay. I'm about at a stop point. I'm getting hungry. My wife said she was making a pizza, so I'm gonna have to go in the house and get some pizza because I'm ready to eat. I'm gonna continue on. Michael said I thought it was cardboard like the GMs. No, it's those panels in the front are plastic. The ones in the back are metal. They're metal. Yeah. So I'm going to continue on this and get the stripe on the other side. I'll feel better about it once I have all that done, and then I can continue to try to nip away at the other issues. I need to get the quarter windows taken care of and whatever else I can. So it's just a matter of time. I'll get there. But that'll be it for tonight. So I want to thank you all for being here. And at this point, I do plan to be back next Monday at 7 o'clock. So, hey, keep watching my videos. I posted a new video on my workshop channel. If you haven't seen that channel, that's all about like weed eaters and lawnmowers and home repair and all kinds of stuff like that. So go check out Joe Daddy's workshop if you haven't already. I just fixed our hot tub. It's been out of commission for about a year. Put a new controller on it, so it works. But it's too hot. It's too hot in Georgia to go in the hot tub. Anyway, that'll be it for tonight. So I'll see you next week. And until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya.